Okay, I worked a shitty 9 to 5 job for over 10 years of my life before I became a millionaire by age 30. In this video, I want to be brutally honest with you and give you the most important lessons that I learned along the way. I know a lot of young entrepreneurs want to become a millionaire, but they just don't know how to get there. So hopefully this video will help you achieve that goal. So I am not going to hold anything back. Let's start off by saying that I am nobody special. I did not grow up with rich parents and I had nothing handed to me. I grew up very poor. In fact, my parents have always taught me that if I wanted something bad enough, it is up to me to go out there to get it. I need to work hard for it and I need to earn it. So I didn't grow up with a lot of money. Every dollar that I've made, I have earned myself. I've generated over $15 million online to this day. I didn't go to college, never went to university. I had terrible grades in high school, but somehow I was still able to make it work. So I think the problem with society nowadays is that most people are just lazy pieces of shit, or they are entitled. Okay. They think that they deserve a lot of money. They think that they deserve to become a millionaire and not have to work for it. And if that is your mindset, then you will probably never become a millionaire, because the most successful entrepreneurs that I know that are millionaires have worked for everything. Okay. They put in the work, they put in the time. Also, if you are someone that is looking at the timestamp right now on this video and you are thinking, oh, this is such a long video, I don't want to listen to her yap, then you don't deserve to become a millionaire, because I am giving you this valuable information for free. It took me over 8 years to learn these lessons, and I am going to give it to you for free. The first lesson here is that it's not about the business model, it's about you. A lot of people try to start businesses, and when they fail, they blame the business model. They think, oh, that business model sucks. I'm just going to move on to the next one, and then the next one. And then guess what? They keep failing. And that is because it's not about the business model, it's about you. You need to take responsibility for everything that happens in your business. If you always blame the business model, you are never going to learn anything. And if that were to be true, then how are other people making money online by starting a specific type of business? For example, right now, I recently started my own AI agency. I started learning how to make money with AI. And in my first month, I made over $10,000. And I have people asking me, Tamara, how do you make money with every business that you start? And the simple answer to that is it's not about the business model, it's about me. I have developed specific skill sets and a mindset that will help me succeed in almost every business that I start, as long as I have some knowledge around that business. And if you were to do a search on Google or YouTube, you will see other successful entrepreneurs starting successful businesses. And you start to think, how are these people successful? Why am I not successful? If you are someone that has failed at a business, you may question yourself. And the answer again is it's you. It's not the business model. You need to figure out what you are doing wrong so you can make things right the next time around. There is no magical online business model that is going to make you rich. It has everything to do with you. The second lesson here is that getting rich is a choice. Let that sink in. I don't think many people have realized this, but if you are someone that wants to get rich, it is a choice. You need to be honest with yourself and ask yourself, am I doing the right things that are required to become rich? Or am I just kicking back, playing video games, watching Netflix, stuffing my face with popcorn, watching movies every day, and not doing things that rich people do? Rich people are rich because they do things to become rich. And when they take action and make decisions, it is a choice. So for me, I have decided that I wanted to become rich after I lost my last 9 to 5 job. I had a 9 to 5 job. For the longest time, it was miserable. I hated my boss. I hated driving to work. I just didn't like it. And I thought, okay, I want to become rich, but what do I need to do to get rich? Who do I need to become to get rich? And once I made that decision, once I made that choice to do things that rich people do, That is when I started becoming rich. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, it's that simple. I just had to make better decisions for myself. I didn't know that. So if you are someone that wants to get rich, you need to make that choice. You need to study rich people, look at what they do, look at how they act. What do they do with their time? And you need to replicate everything that they do. If you choose to do something else that rich people don't do, then you will stay poor. It's as simple as that. The third lesson is that you need to sacrifice everything that doesn't serve you. So I've made so many sacrifices when I became an entrepreneur 8 years ago, when I decided I am not going back to work for someone else. I am going to work for myself because I want to get rich. I want to become a millionaire. I made sacrifices. One of them being that I am going to avoid people who are not on the same journey as I am. And once I made that switch, I noticed that I started attracting more successful people. I will talk more about this later on. There are so many things that you need to sacrifice in order to become a millionaire. And not a lot of people are willing to give that up. For example, I think it's important to work out almost every single day. I do weights, I do cardio, I make time in my schedule no matter how busy I get, no matter how busy I am with family, business. I still make time to work out because when I am working out, I notice that that is when my mind is the most creative. I start to think of different business ideas. I start to think of other things that I need to do in my business to get to the next level. And it's these little changes and sacrifices that I've made so I can become a millionaire. Not a lot of people are willing to sacrifice anything. They are comfortable. They are comfortable with staying out late. They are comfortable with partying. They are comfortable with staying with the same group of friends that are not doing anything significant in their lives. And the truth is, if you want to become a millionaire, you need to sacrifice a lot of these things. So I've sacrificed going out late. That's one of the biggest sacrifices that I made. Like a lot of my friends that I knew back then when I started to become an entrepreneur, they all stayed out late. Like I'm talking about staying out late until like 4 a.m. or even 5 a.m. in the morning, or they stay out until the next morning entirely. And then I started to notice that when I was staying out late, I was getting nothing done. There was no way that my mind can even focus the next day. Like my mind was like, oh, I'm so tired. I just want to sleep. I just want to sleep in. I feel like crap. Now I'm going to eat junk food that makes me feel like crap even more. And that developed very poor habits. And if you have poor habits in your life, you're never going to become a millionaire. You're just not. I don't know anyone who was able to become a self-made millionaire without making any sacrifices. So you should think about some things that you need to sacrifice so you can become healthier, you can make better decisions, you can wake up earlier so you're ahead of the game. There's so many things that you need to give up if you want to become a millionaire. The fourth lesson is that nobody is going to come and save you. If you are a woman watching this video, then listen up, because Prince Charming is not going to come and save you. A lot of young women nowadays, they watch a lot of social media and they think that just because they become this high value woman, if you follow some dating coaches and they're feeding you a lot of bullshit, they may tell you that, hey, all you got to do is sit back, look pretty, and a rich man will come and save you. That is not the case. Okay, ladies, that is so far from the truth. And how do I know this? Well, because I've tried that in my early 20s. I was listening to all these people who told me that, oh, you just need to look pretty, sit back, and then some rich man will come and save you and you will be okay and you will spend all his money and you will live in this beautiful castle. And that is just not reality. People want you to believe that because that is what's popular on social media right now, right? You see these women flashing their handbags, jewelry, cars, penthouses, I don't know. And then you see a man in the background and then you assume that that man gave her everything. And maybe he did. Okay, maybe there is a chance. And I'm not saying that there's no chance. Maybe, hopefully, and I want this for you, that someone is just going to come into your life and just give you everything that you need. They're going to come save you. But if you do a quick Google search and you type in, what percentage of people on earth are rich? You are going to be shocked. And there is going to be a lot of competition because there are not many rich men on earth. There's not many of them. And if you are someone with that mindset, then I'm sorry to break it to you, that is highly unlikely going to work out in your favor. The fifth lesson is to be super cringe and to let people judge. So I think what holds a lot of people back from becoming millionaires is that they are so damn afraid of people judging them, especially their family, especially their friends, especially acquaintances that they probably don't even give a shit about. They are afraid of people judging them and thinking, oh, what if I fail? I'll look goofy. Or, oh my gosh, if I fail, then Susie's going to judge me and then they're going to laugh at me. Who cares? Nobody cares. If you care about people judging you so much, then you may as well just stay at home and never leave your bed and never get out of the house, right? A lot of people are so afraid of judgment, but in reality, nobody gives a shit. And in reality, people may judge you one time and then they forget. Like, how many times have you walked down the street, you saw someone, and you may have judged them, right? Like, we all judge each other. Let's get real. We all place judgments on other people. But that judgment that you place on someone else only lasts like what, a few seconds. Like, if I see a guy running down the street in his underwear right now, I will probably make a judgment. I would probably think something like, oh, like, well, that's funny. Like, what's going on in his mind? Like, who's that? I make that judgment, but then I forget. I carry on with my life. So what I am trying to say is that if you want to become a millionaire, people will judge you along the way and you will feel cringe. Every time you put yourself out there, you will feel cringy. Like, if I look back at all the videos that I've made 8 years ago, I feel cringe. Okay. I look back and I'm like, oh my God, like, did I really say that? Did I look like that? My eyebrows look weird. My face looks weird. Do I look funny? Is this why people think I'm cringe? But at the end of the day, I only had one goal. And that goal, again, was to get rich and to become a millionaire. I didn't really give a shit what other people were thinking of me. I don't care if they judged me. I don't care if they were talking shit. And if someone cared that much, if someone cared that much about what I'm doing in my own life to become successful, then they're the one with the mental problem, not me, right? That's their own insecurity. So you need to be super cringe and you need to be comfortable with letting people judge you. People judge no matter what. The sixth lesson is that you need to grow a pair of balls and to take some risk. I think too many people are afraid to put themselves out there, and too many people are afraid to put in the work because they don't want to know the outcome. They are afraid of failing and they are afraid of people judging them. There's so many thoughts that go through their mind, and that makes them not want to take any risk. But the truth is, if you want to become successful and if you want to make a lot of money, you need to be taking risk every single day. So the best way to think about this is if you're not doing something that scares you every day, then you're not taking enough risk. Like, I think this video that I'm posting right now kind of scares me. Like, before I thought about going on camera to give these lessons to you, I thought to myself, what if someone gets offended? What if someone starts hating me? What if someone talks behind my back? And then I realized I don't give a shit. I am going to take this risk and post this video because I think it's important for you to learn these lessons so you can move on to the next level. If you are not comfortable with taking any risk, then you will never succeed. You will always stay in the same place. This is when a lot of people stay miserable. They may be willing to take like a little bit of risk, and then once they take that risk and they feel scared, they're like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I'm going to go back to my old ways. I'm going to stay at that shitty job, whatever it is. They get scared and they go backwards. And you can't do that. If you want to get rich, you cannot go backwards. You need to move forward no matter how much it sucks. No matter how cringy it is, no matter how hard it gets, you need to be able to be comfortable with taking a lot of risk. Now, this is hard as a beginner. I totally understand that. I remember back in the day, I was afraid to take risks. Like, I thought buying a $500 course was a huge risk. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm spending $500 on this course. What if I fail? What if something happens and people judge me? What if I lose all my money? You know, I start to think of the worst scenario. But the flip side of that is, what if something good happens out of it? Like, why is it that us as human beings always think of the negative? I think it's because our brains are there to protect us, right? Like, we were taught as infants, as toddlers, that if something hurts, if something makes us feel uncomfortable, we need to avoid it. But in business, if you want to get rich, you need to be able to face whatever makes you feel uncomfortable. No matter how risky something is, you need to be comfortable with taking that risk. So I would start with baby steps. If you are a beginner and you are not comfortable with taking any risk, I would start with baby steps. Like, for example, if we go back to that $500 course, I was so afraid to spend money. But once I spent that $500 and I learned something, I was like, oh, it's actually not that bad. Next time I'm comfortable with spending $1,000 and then $2,000 and then $5,000. And then later I caught myself spending over $5,000 per day in my business. I thought, what the heck? Like, how did I end up here? And that was necessary for me to become a millionaire because I was spending thousands of dollars in advertising to advertise my services and my products to get rich. So start with baby steps to take risk. Lesson number 7 is to invest in yourself and not material things. So yes, if you have been following me on social media, you know that I love material things. I'm not going to hide it. I think looking at all of the material things that I've purchased, it is a symbol of success. I look at it and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I spent over $20,000 on a Rolex. But if you are a beginner, I do not suggest you to spend any money on material things until you have made enough money where you feel comfortable to splurge. Okay. Like, for example, after you make some money online with whatever business model that you are getting yourself into, the money that you make should cover your bills, okay? Like your most basic bills. So maybe like rent or mortgage, car payments, food, like all the bills that are necessary for survival. You should make enough money to cover that first before you spend money on material things. I think one of the dumbest things that people can do is once they start seeing some success, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to buy that car. I'm going to buy that Rolex. I'm going to buy that handbag. And sure, you can do that. I'm not stopping you, right? It's your life. But what I have learned is that those material things are much more enjoyable after you have reinvested your earnings back into your business. And that is the way how it can grow more. So I remembered when I made my first $10,000 online, I thought, okay, well, I have 10 grand. I can spend that on a designer handbag, or I can take that $10,000 and invest it into my business so I can make $20,000 per month, $30,000 per month, right? And that is the mindset that you need to have. You need to be willing to invest into yourself and not material things. You can invest into material things later on when you have achieved a specific goal. Again, this is your life. You can do whatever you want with your money, but I'm here to teach you how to get rich quick. And that is the way to do it. Always invest in yourself. Moving on to lesson number 8, that is failing equals success. I know that sounds weird and you're probably thinking, but Tamara, I failed so many times and I am a failure. I feel so bad. I lost so much money. I'm not going to do anything else. I'm not going to try again. Okay. And that is the wrong mindset to have, my friend. You have to recognize that failing is the next step to success. And what I mean by this is the more you fail, the more you learn, right? I think we were taught in school that if you fail and if you get like an F on your report card, that is bad. But I don't think it's bad. I never thought it was bad because I had really bad grades. I did terribly in school. But again, somehow I was able to generate millions and millions of dollars online. How is that? Why is that? And what I realized is that failing equals success. Every time you fail is a step closer to success. Only if you recognize it and you make a mental note of everything that went wrong so everything can go right the next time around. For example, if I started a new business today and then 90 days later, I realized that I failed, I'm not doing a good job, I lost money, I lost time, but I don't sit there to recognize everything that I did wrong. I'm just going to take those mistakes to the next business, right? I didn't make a mental note of everything I did wrong. I may have blamed the business model. I may have blamed other people. I may have blamed anything other than myself. But as long as I blamed myself and I recognize what went wrong, I can take those lessons to the next business and have success in that next business. So failing is success. I believe it's success. I believe everyone needs to fail in order to succeed. If you are someone that has never failed at anything before, then you probably haven't made it very big either. Okay, I know that for a fact because every successful entrepreneur that I know have failed many times and they don't care. They just keep going. The goal is to keep going. If you make a stop and after you fail, you decide, okay, I quit. I'm never doing this again. I'm too scared. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money. If that is your mindset, then you are going backwards, right? You're going to stay at the same position that you are in right now. And that's shitty. The next lesson, number 9, is to remove all distractions. This is so important and it sounds so dumb, but it's so true. And this is something that everybody needs to do. And I cannot stress enough. So one thing that I've noticed with new entrepreneurs who are just getting into any type of business is that one question they always have for me is, okay, how much time do I need per day? And I tell them, well, you need about 1 hour per day to study the program so you can learn the business model and to start making some money. And they come back to me maybe like a month later, oh, I took your advice. I studied for 1 hour per day, but I'm still not getting success. So I ask them, okay, what exactly are you doing in that hour? And then I find out that they are listening to music. They're scrolling on social media. They have Netflix in the background. Their dog is running around or their child is screaming in the background during that hour when they are supposed to be studying. So it's not about the hour that I'm telling you. Like I can say, hey, you need 1 hour per day. But if I am someone who can get things done at a much faster speed, like during that hour, if I have no music on, if I turn off all my notifications, if I lock myself in my office, if I don't leave my house, if everything around me is quiet and I am only focusing on this program that I'm supposed to be focusing on, then I have a much higher chance of success. I will probably become a millionaire much faster than you, who also studied during that hour. But the difference is that I removed all my distractions. I didn't allow anything to distract me. While for you, you allowed everything to distract you. And that is why you're not seeing success. That is why it's so slow for you. That is why every time you start a new business, it takes forever because you're getting distracted. I'm not just talking about like time-wise. I'm talking about pretty much everything in your life. Like, for example, sometimes I get invited to parties. Okay, I get invited to parties. And to me, that is a distraction in my life right now because I'm trying to scale my AI agency. It takes energy, it takes focus, it takes time. I need to set a schedule where I can work on my business, right? And if I were to allow everything in my personal life to distract me from that, then I'm not going to get the success that I want. I'm just simply not going to make any money because I am allowing distractions. So you want to limit your distractions. Better yet, remove everything, remove all of your distractions. And you know better than me what those distractions are. Okay, the last lesson I have for you is number 10, surround yourself with rich people. And I don't mean rich people as in the amount of money they have in the bank. No. I am talking about people with a rich mindset because mindset is everything. If you hang out with people with the wrong mindset, then you're never going to get anywhere because that is the energy that you are receiving from these people. For example, I don't have anyone in my life with a poor mindset. I don't allow myself to hang out with people with a poor mindset because that is going to make me have a poor mindset. And I don't want that. I want a rich mindset. So what is having a rich mindset? Having a rich mindset means that you are very focused on your goals and who you want to become. This can mean something different to everyone, but what it means for me is that I'm not going to allow myself to be surrounded by people who have bad habits, who have no goals, who are not getting anywhere with their life, people who stay in the same place year after year, not doing anything about their problems. That's a poor mindset, and I don't want that. If I am going to be surrounded by that, then I'm not going to get anywhere in my life. There is a saying that goes something like, you are the 5 people who you are closest to. And if the 5 people who you are closest to are not on the same path or same journey as you, they don't have the same goals, they're doing different things in their lives, then you are going to be held back. You're not going to get rich because you're hanging out with people who are not rich, right? You need to be hang out with people who have the same goals as you or somewhat similar in terms of mindset. So the next time you ask yourself, why am I not a millionaire? Why am I not rich? Why do I not have X amount of dollars in my bank account? It probably has a lot to do with who you are hanging out with. This is why it's so important to get a mentor who is where you want to be and to stop taking advice from people who are not where you want to be. So I think one of the biggest sacrifices that I made was that I needed to stay away from certain family members who did not have the same mindset as me. And as much as that sucks because they are family, it doesn't mean that they are right for me. You know that? Like, does that make any sense? Like, sometimes you can love family, you can love friends, and you can love people from afar. But if they are not aligned with your goals and they are not doing the same things that you are, and they are giving you terrible advice, they are not where you want to be in life, then you should probably not hang out with those people. And I am not telling you to cut off everybody, but there is a time and place for that. And most of the times, you need to be surrounded by people with a rich mindset. That is the only way how you can get to the next level to make a lot of money, so you can learn from these people, so you can become a millionaire. I hope this video and these 10 lessons has helped you open your eyes to what it takes to become a millionaire. It's not hard. I believe it's possible for you. I believe it's possible for everyone, but you need to start making these changes if that is what you truly want to become. But it is up to you to start making these changes if that is who you want to become. If you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe to my channel and help me give this video a huge thumbs up.